Now let's continue with this crusade against these deranged, disgusting, dangerous dogs and their deranged, disgusting owners. This is a video response in response to two video responses to two of my videos that was created by a mutt-loving weirdo who genuinely believes that he is more intelligent than he actually is. And it seems to escape him that the reason so few mutt lovers attempt to deconstruct my arguments is because I leave no room for arguments. I also set traps in my presentations of information for those like this individual who tries to refute my arguments.
Is it just me? Or did he purposely cut out that article so that his audience couldn't see the chart that showed that more children are the victims of softball and baseball injuries than dog bite?
The number of children injured playing softball or baseball has nothing to do with the irresponsibility of allowing wild carnivores to live in your home. If a responsible parent is told that over 333,000 children need emergency care treatment for dog attacks each year, that parent would not give a damn about the 404,000 children injured in baseball and softball. That is a different topic altogether. They would not take the chance of their child being one of those 333,000 children. This is what we call in philosophy a straw man fallacy. Why would any intelligent person even compare these statistics when these numbers are not that much different? Both numbers are relatively high and too high for any responsible, sane parent to take the risk of their child being one of those victims.
But he doesn't show the other part of that same article, which states that dogs are much less likely to attack a child in the presence of an adult.
If a mutt is living in your home, what makes you think an adult is always going to be present? A child could run into another room, and that mutt could either run into that room after them or already be in the room when they get there. More importantly, if you have a creature in your home that is so dangerous and untrustworthy that you need an adult present at all times when both the child and the dog are there so that the dog does not maul the child, then you should not have that creature in your home at all. But you deranged mutt lovers allow them into your home anyways because you cannot envision life without being licked on by mutts.
He also forgot to show the other part in the article, which says that incidences of dog bite fatalities by any breed are very rare. There are approximately 15 to 20 in the United States a year.
Those of you who follow my channel already know that I've covered this talking point, and I've acknowledged that the number of children and people killed by dogs each year is low. But in typical mutt-obsessed fashion, this weirdo totally ignores the number of people and children who are injured in dog attacks, where many of those injuries are severe and leave people and children disfigured, where in regard to the children, it is actually their face most of the time that is permanently disfigured. You see, in the mind of these mutt lovers, as long as the victim doesn't die, then it's not a big deal. That's why they only focus on the deaths. According to DogAttackInjury.com, a dog attack injury law firm, in 2012, nearly 28,000 people needed reconstructive surgery for dog attacks. That's not even including those who were just seriously injured and had an infection. This number is much higher and considerable than the 20 to 30 people killed each year that you so conveniently focus on. It is not a case where as long as you or your child is not killed by a dog, then you're just fine. These people and children who are mauled and disfigured by these mutts have to carry that disfigurement for the rest of their lives and will now live a different life as a result of these attacks, both physically and psychologically.
According to the RSPCA, children communicate differently to adults, and what children do, a dog may see that as threatening behaviour, such as screaming and shouting and so on. Yet, by understanding dogs and understanding their body language, you will be able to recognise when a dog is unhappy or feels threatened.
Who in their right mind would tolerate a creature that would feel uncomfortable and threatened by a child shouting to the point that they would maul that child? If a child screams and the dog shows warning signs, what makes you mutt lovers think that you will always be able to subdue the dog before it actually attacks the child? When dogs latch on to anything, they bite, especially vicious dogs. It will be very difficult to make that dog release it. Why would any responsible, sane parent take the risk of it being their child's face or body that dog is latched onto? Many dogs are uncontrollable when they go into attack mode. And it is exactly these types of scenarios that account for many attacks on children. Sometimes dogs will attack a child on sight without showing any warning signs. And there is no guarantee that you'll always have your eyes on the dog at all times to see the warning signs anyways. It is simply a risk that only a deranged retard would take. A child should be able to scream all it wants without having to worry about being mauled by a fucking mutt. Fuck understanding a dog's behavior. You simply do not allow the mutt into the home at all.
He also said that it is important to make sure a pet is well cared for, exercised and fed when the baby arrives to ensure it doesn't feel left out.
Yeah, let's make sure the dog is well fed so that it doesn't eat our newborn baby. What kind of sense that make? Again, any creature that poses that level of danger should not be in the home at all. And what makes you think those mutts won't get hungry again several times after the baby has arrived in the home? You might find out that that mutt is hungry too late. Furthermore, what makes you think that it's easy to satisfy a dog's hunger when those disgusting mutts eat non-stop? They're always starving no matter how much they eat. Most importantly, what makes you think dogs only attack infants in response to hunger or feeling threatened when so many dog attacks on children and infants take place while the children or infants are asleep in their bassinet? The solution offered of keeping a mutt well fed does not apply to the circumstances in which many children and infants are attacked and killed. What type of weirdo, sick, twisted individual can examine the deaths of these children and infants and conclude that it doesn't happen often enough to be a big deal? These are the 20 to 30 deaths per year at the hands of dogs that you simply dismiss.
Of course there are these factors, but that's why we have these procedures in place, such as making sure they are not left in the same room as a child alone, or preparing and training the dog before a newborn arrives in the household to make sure that these situations don't happen.
I don't want to hear about how it's the owner's responsibility to make sure children are safe from dog attacks, when all of you mutt lovers get off on laying your babies on top of these mutts, allowing your children to play with them. Your deranged mutt emotions yearns to see your children cuddled up with these disgusting, ugly, stupid, lethal mutts. You want them to have a relationship with that mutt because you want the mutt to get to know them. None of you mutt lovers are responsible. And the children who grow up in homes with dogs that are never attacked are simply lucky. I've wasted valuable time in this video because you mutt lovers do not possess the intelligence that nature instilled into a fucking rock. And an example had to be made of one of you. Rest assured that several of my supporters, as well as myself, are built to dismantle any argument in defense of dog ownership that is presented by mutt lovers. Even during an epileptic seizure, in the middle of a stutter, I will dismiss your mutt-loving bullshit. I have facts and logic on my side, while all you have is hope, guesses, wishful thinking, good training, and responsible parenting, and simply hope the dog never attacks the child or baby. That is not reliable. And you try to push this wishful thinking off as fail-proof, even in the face of thousands of children and babies being attacked and seriously injured each year, when the only thing that completely ensures the safety of children and babies is to not allow wild, aggressive, unpredictable, stupid carnivores to live in your home. This should be common sense. It's not common sense to these deranged mutt lovers. Let this video serve as a warning to any of you other mutt loving YouTubers who want to challenge my platform. You're biting off more than you can chew. You better just accept the fact that you have a mental disorder and go on about your business.